Hello, and welcome to that episode of Todd Talks. And Todd Talks, people listen. Hopefully. It's been a little while. It's been a couple, let's see, how long has it been? Like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. But we are back with episode 72, and we are here to kick off Death Battle Season 5 with our first preview of Season 5. Yeah, that makes sense. It's only a few days away. I'm sorry for not getting my video out on Thursday like I usually do, but life's been busy. But hey, we're almost there, and the first matchup, Black Panther versus Batman. Now, before I get into the preview, I need to get this out of the way. Stop complaining about the matchup, okay? Remember, Death Battle runs on the suggestions of its fans, and as they've stated multiple times, they have this sheet that has all the matchup requests and how many people want that matchup. So, like, for example, I have wanted Rocket Raccoon versus Sly Cooper for at least a season or two, and I'm pretty sure I'm one of the few, so I'm sure that listing is like very low on the list, and I'm okay with that. But in contrast, Black Panther versus Batman is one of the highest on the list. In fact, in a recent Death Battle cast, that they said that the other suggestions for Black Panther, which I honestly don't know what they are, but the other suggestions for Black Panther weren't even close to Batman. Okay, and if you think about it, this makes sense because Batman and Black Panther are very much, the same guy from a different universe with obviously a few twists, of course. But as I was telling someone on the Screw Attack forums, there are 3 people that Batman, Bruce Wayne, usually gets compared to in the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man, who he's fought, Captain America, who he's fought, and Black Panther, who he's about to fight. So yes, I know it's kind of sad that this is technically Batman's 4th, if you count Terry McGinnis, his 4th appearance on Death Battle, but that's just the way the matchups break down. And they've been said this year that 95% of all the Death Battles that we're going to see are fan suggestions, which literally means that like one is not. So I actually look forward to seeing which one that one is, but that's why they're doing this matchup, okay? That's why they're doing this matchup. So, but I'm excited because technically this is my first Batman Bruce Wayne breakdown. I did Terry McGinnis Batman when he went up against Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man 2099, but I've never done Bruce Wayne Batman, so I'm very excited for that. But of course, we gotta start with Black Panther. So Black Panther, aka T'Challa, the current King of Wakanda, a fictional nation in Africa, but very real in the Marvel Universe. T'Challa has been around for a very long time, and he's a very deep character, both personality-wise and history-wise, and he's been a part of a lot of big Marvel events, especially in the recent years, which I'll be recounting in this preview. He was born son of the former king T'Chaka, who you might remember from Captain America: Civil War if you saw the movie, for all you non-comic aficionados out there. And from his early age, he was trained to be the next King of Wakanda. He was sent around the world. He was given the best education. He was a world-class gymnast. He was given all the tools to succeed so that when the time came for him to return to his homeland of Wakanda, he could be the king. And he did that. After his father's death, he took the mantle of a Black Panther after a grueling initiation, and he became its sole protector. Now, ironically, T'Challa viewed the outside world with very, how should I say this? Suspicious eyes. There you go. For example, he invited the Fantastic Four to Wakanda under the guise of peace, but then made them do a bunch of trials to see what their capabilities were. But then he grew respect for them and teamed up with them to beat Claw, one of his arch nemesis, whatever. One of his main bad guys. There you go. Another time, he actually joined the Avengers to spy on them because he deemed them a great threat to Wakanda. But over time, he grew to become friends with them, and he became an Avenger multiple times over, including being part of numerous groups in the Marvel Universe, not the least of which was the Avengers. He was Daredevil technically once in the Man Without Fear arc. He was also a part of the Illuminati, which is a group of the smartest beings in the Marvel Universe. He's crossed galaxies. He's fought Galactus, among others. He's done a lot. Now, one of the most iconic parts of Black Panther is his suit, which is laced with vibranium, which is the exact metal that Wakanda is known for. And yes, it is the metal that Steve Rogers, Captain America's shield, is made out of. It is an incredibly powerful metal. It's only found in Wakanda, which is why Wakanda actually is the most technologically advanced country on the planet. But that's also why it remains hidden, because it knows that if anyone decided, hey, let's go team up on Wakanda and get the vibranium for ourselves, it could literally change the face of the world, which is something you might be seeing in the Black Panther movie coming up. So, because of that, T'Challa is constantly returning home to defend his nation against those who would try and steal the vibranium for themselves. And let me tell you, a lot of people have tried to do that, not the least of which is a guy named Dr. Doom. I'll get more on him later. So T'Challa he's done a lot, and his suit makes him basically invulnerable to a lot of kinds of damage, because the nature of vibranium isn't just that it's incredibly durable, it's that it actually rebounds many kinds of energies. Like if you saw the Avengers movie, like when Thor hit Cap's hammer and it bounced off, even though it's a freaking Mjolnir. That's why, because that's what vibranium does. So he's basically impervious to stabbing weapons and claw strikes. His claws, which he actually does have, can cut other vibranium, like you might have seen in Civil War, and he's insane. Oh, but wait, there's more. He's also got the power of a Panther god, because that's what Wakanda does. They are in tuned spiritually with the Panther god, who blessed T'Challa as he is the current king and wielder of the Panther mantle, with superhuman strength, speed, agility, senses, which is already incredible because he was already a very strong, very agile guy, but the Panther God made him even better. And then in recent arcs, he's even become the King of the Dead, which means he not only has even greater powers, he can summon zombies. It's happened. It's a thing. Look it up. So yeah. But wait, there's even more than that. Because of the vibranium, because of the technological prowess of Wakanda, T'Challa has had numerous incredible gadgets over the years. You might have seen some GIFs or memes of them as this battle drew closer. He's got energy daggers, he's got energy weapons, he's got energy shields. I believe in one case he could fly. I might have to relook that one up. Needless to say, he's got advanced weaponry, and he even mixed science, alchemy, and magic together, which I know science and alchemy sounds like the same thing. It's kind of different, though. Together to create a new, how do they define it? A new way of thinking called shadow physics. There you go. A new mathematical premise called shadow physics, or science principle, whatever. Yeah. T'Challa is a genius, and he has used his nation's resources to great use to create wonders for his nation and to make them prosper. Because of that, he's just a freaking tough Avenger. Here's some of his best feats that I could find. In the Infinity arc, which was a comic I actually did read, Thanos, yeah, that Thanos, he sent his Black Order, which is his, let's call him his highest generals, who are literally trained to kill and win. Like, that is their only goal in life. So he fought one of them called the Black Dwarf, who is an incredibly strong creature. Okay, he's meant to be this bruiser of a being. Yeah, T'Challa beat him. He was, in fact, Thanos himself was impressed that Black Panther was able to beat Black Dwarf, and then he just beat the bloody heck out of Black Dwarf because he lost. I just realized Black Panther beat Black Dwarf. Anyway, but yeah, so he did that, and through his leadership, Wakanda repelled Thanos' invasion the first time. The second time, he totally got screwed, but that was because all of Thanos' armies came at him because he knew he thought he had an Infinity Stone. He didn't. Dang it, Namor. But yeah, he's fought one of Thanos' greatest henchmen and won. He's I wouldn't say bluffed. He made Doctor Doom stand down. Doctor Doom went to Wakanda to try and get vibranium for Latveria because he's Doctor Doom. And after failing to contain T'Challa threatened to blow up all the vibranium because it is an unstable metal, and make sure that no one got the vibranium. And Doctor Doom left, like he would not risk it. So yeah, he's bluffed. Again, he didn't really bluff him, but he's made Doctor Doom stand down. He's fought many of the Avengers, including Captain America. He's fought Wolverine. He's fought many of the X-Men, including, and he even married one in Storm, then got annulled, then got back together. It's complicated. It's comics, people. He has done a lot. He's seen through the eyes of Galactus. It was a really weird thing. But he's had very high enlightenment. Again, he was part of the Illuminati, which is one of the smartest group of Marvel characters. He has helped cross dimensions in the Secret Wars art. He has wielded the Infinity Gauntlet, like the full stop Infinity Gauntlet. He wielded it with great power and respect. And seriously, this guy is just incredible. Okay, now he's not invulnerable. Okay, for example, his suit does have a detachable hood, and so in theory, if you were to take off that hood, you could expose T'Challa's head and then hurt that. He like any man, he has his limits. He is trained to go beyond those limits. He is defined as superhuman, but he does have limits. His vibranium does not stop everything, though it does stop most things. So as long as you are able to expose one of those weaknesses or take advantage of one of vibranium's limitations, you could, in theory, defeat him. The question is, will you? And as that epic preview by Nick Kramer said, when you fight the king, you face the might of his kingdom. And he's got a couple kingdoms under his belt. Okay, I'm excited for this one. Bruce Wayne, the gosh dang mother frickin' Batman. You all know the story. Okay, young Bruce Wayne going home from the theater after seeing The Mask of Zorro. He was with his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, when a criminal named Joe Chill came out and killed Thomas and Martha right in front of him. From that day, Bruce swore to get revenge and get justice for his family by becoming the thing that all criminals would fear. And so he started the very long journey to becoming Batman. Now, this journey has been documented in many different ways, in many different continuities and films, but to basically get the gist of it, he learned from every single martial arts master he could. He mastered every science he could. He learned how to make technology as well as come up with ideas for new technology. He became proficient in stealth, escape artistry. He actually learned from magicians, though he doesn't believe in magic, on how to do certain things. He learned how to, he's a ventriloquist, ironically enough. He basically learned everything he felt he could to become the best crime fighter ever. And then after all those years of training, he went back to Gotham. He used the guise of the Bat, which is something he actually fears, to become Batman. Now, Batman series, I don't even know where to start, describing all his feats. He has had a multi-year, decades, even centuries in a certain comic arc you might know about. He's fought for a long time. Okay, he has done so much against so many, which is amazing because unlike Black Panther, who is blessed by a god, Batman doesn't have that. Batman has himself and his mind and his body that he is trained to extreme levels. He is not superhuman, but he does things that are superhuman. Okay, that is literally the crux of what Batman is. He fights people he should not win against, and he wins because he's the gosh dang motherfucking Batman. All right, now yes, some of this was prep time, but if anyone who reads the comics knows that prep time does not go as far as you might think. Okay, read the recent Detective Comics arc or some of the recent Batman core arcs. He's not invulnerable. Okay, and his prep only goes so far. But that being said, he's fine with that because he's able to adapt on the fly. He's known as the world's greatest detective. Sorry, Sherlock Holmes. Because of his great mind, he is able to deconstruct a crime scene. He is able to know about bullet trajectories, about poisons, chemicals, anything he you'd think you need to know as a crime scene investigator. Batman knows in spades. All right, he knows how to deconstruct things, and then he can put a profile together. He can deduce what someone is going to do. He is that smart, and he uses that all the time because he can and because he needs to get the job done. His feats are numerous. I couldn't even begin to describe it. I mean, again, basically 75 years, over 75 years actually, of history and villains. Like, let's just run down his roster. All right, he's fought in Clayface, who was a literal human clay monster that could literally just engulf Batman and Clay and kill him, but he hasn't. He's faced Mr. Freeze, who has a freeze gun, which can literally freeze you solid, leaving you basically dead. He's faced Poison Ivy, who can kill you with a kiss. He's developed antidotes to make sure that doesn't happen. He's faced the insanity of the Joker. He's I'm missing a couple, I'm missing thousands. He's faced a lot, okay, and yet he almost always comes out on top. Even when it comes to his greatest rival, the Joker, even when he wins, he loses, or when he loses, he wins, because that's just how it works. He endures so much. He fought during the Nightfall arc. This is a good example. During the Nightfall arc, Bane broke every single person out of Arkham Asylum. Batman basically spent a year recapturing all of them on little to no sleep, and he did it. Now, yes, doing so allowed Bane to take him out, but he still did all of that. He captured basically his entire rogues gallery in less than a year. Because he refused to let them off the streets. He has gone to war with some of his villains. If you recent comic arc, The War of Jokes and Riddles, he fought Deathstroke and Deadshot at the same time and won. Now, yes, they had been fighting for a few days, and so they may not have been at peak capacity when fighting Batman, but still, he took them both down. He has regularly fought Deathstroke, and he has beaten him, although Deathstroke has beaten Batman in return. He has legendarily evaded Superman, which is apparently a topic of contention, because how can Batman how can Batman do that if Superman can hear, what did he say? If Superman can hear the crashing of molecules. Okay, yes, he can hear the crashing of molecules, but he probably has to be listening to those molecules. Alright, think of it like Man of Steel. He has to focus on what he listens to. Otherwise, the world's noise would consume him. And Batman is made so that, you can't focus on what you don't know is there. Okay? He has gone hand to hand with some of the greatest fighters in the DC Comics universe. I've already mentioned Deathstroke. He's had fights with Wonder Woman. He's had fights with Superman. He's had fights with Ra's al Ghul, who is basically was an immortal. He's faced magical beings. He's faced demonic creatures. He's faced Darkseid multiple times, and has not died. He's never died via Darkseid. If you know the comic arc I'm talking about, he did not die via Darkseid. And what's more, he has various bat suits that can make it so that he can be even stronger, including a special suit that was made by the Justice League so that he could fight Darkseid by himself. And it was awesome. Alright, and of course, Batman's got the gadgets. Batman has an army of gadgets at his disposal. He's got his classic batarangs, which come in various formats, from just disarming devices to explosives. He has grapple guns, which can make him very mobile and get him around to certain places. He has smoke bombs, which can make it so you can't, smoke. You can't see through smoke. Sorry, Captain America fans. He's got explosive devices. He's got explosive gel. He's got cryptographic decoding sequencer things. Arkham Asylum games. He's basically got something for everything, and I'm literally only scratching the surface here. Batman is without a doubt one of the greatest heroes ever created. Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, any of them, Batman is one of the greatest of all time, which is why he's one of the most popular of all time, which is why his movies almost always make millions and 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 millions of dollars. And his TV shows are almost always great, except for Beware the Batman. That one was pretty terrible. Sorry. So who's gonna win? Honestly, this isn't really much of a contest, and it's not because of the reasons you think. Batman is amazing. Okay, there's a reason he's the gosh dang motherfucking Batman. But T'Challa is better. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Martial arts wise, I would probably give Batman the edge. Because even though it's said that Black Panther has, trained his body in various martial arts, Batman is trained in all of them. It's kind of like Batman and Captain America situation again, where Captain America was adept in all martial arts, but Batman mastered them all. Okay, it's that kind of a difference. Although, to be fair, I'm sure T'Challa has mastered numerous martial arts, but it's never said that he's mastered all 127 of them. Okay? So, in that regard, I would give the edge to Batman. But once you go beyond that, everything else kind of falls apart. For example, stealth. Batman has smoke pellets, which he, again, if you remember the Captain America death battle, he uses to great effect. However, T'Challa is literally trained to hear and smell certain things. For example, he literally memorized 10,000 scents. 10,000, okay? Now, if he even encounters Batman for, like, say, 30 seconds before Batman uses his smoke grenades, there's a good chance that T'Challa would have memorized that scent and thus could use that scent to find Batman within the smoke. Not to mention, he's got incredible hearing via the Panther God's blessings. And even if Batman could get the drop on him, what would he hurt him with? Because remember, this is vibranium. Vibranium is a Marvel-only metal. Okay? In fact, there are only a few rare metals in the DC Comics universe. One of them is promethium, which is what Deathstroke uses. The other is nth metal, which is most common with the Hawks, Hawkman, and Hawkgirl. Or if you know the recent DC Comics Metal arc, you know all about it. But he's never had to deal with something like vibranium. Okay, and that's a problem because as we've noted before, Batman is best known for his prep. So if he doesn't know about the metal, how can he prep for the metal? Which he couldn't have prepped for anyway, because Death Battle doesn't allow prep time. And that's the problem here. Batman might be able to go toe-to-toe with Black Panther. In fact, his suit, is made to, resist bullets and knives and such, but it's not invulnerable. Whereas Black Panther's is more or less invulnerable, especially in regards to what Batman has. Remember, Batman naturally does not have a kill rule, even though yes, Death Battle removes that rule, and he's used it to great effect on Captain America. That doesn't mean he has readily available kill weapons. For example, his explosive devices are meant more for impact. They're meant for stunning. They are not just, for example, like napalm. If he was a killing machine, he'd probably have napalm bombs just to, attach and blow him away. Or he'd have high explosives, ready to kill people. Yes, he has gel, which technically is a high explosive, which can burst through walls, and some of his, explosive devices could be used on people, but that wouldn't work on vibranium. Again, if vibranium can handle, impacts from Mjolnir, freaking Mjolnir, and various other energy constructs, Batman doesn't have anything like that. And that's just the truth. So, it really comes down to, could Batman even land a kill shot? The only way that would happen is if somehow he takes the mask off T'Challa, which something tells me that's not going to be easy. Nor would he know to do that, because the outfit looks like it's all connected. And I honestly don't know how T'Challa takes the mask off and has it perfectly sealed. It's probably technology. So if T'Challa doesn't will it, I suppose, it won't come off. So Batman can't do that. So even though this is honestly kind of a mismatch, which is fine because that's how death battles go sometimes, and even Batman isn't impervious to mismatches. It's just the way it is. Now, do I expect a fun match? Sure. I'm a little disappointed it's not 3D. It's 2D because of timing and rescheduling because of the Black Panther movie, because they wanted to get this out before then. But the fact of the matter is, though Batman is great, he has no way of killing T'Challa that I can think of. And I am well and truly a Batman fan, and I know a lot of his gadgets, know a lot of his feats. I've watched his movies, his TV shows, read a lot of his comics. If you kind of see the stack over there, that has a lot of Batman right there. There we go. That has a lot of Batman comics in it. So yeah, he has a lot, but a lot of what he does is prep time. And even though he doesn't need prep time all the time, this is a match where he would really have needed it. Okay, because he has no way to counter the vibranium, and if he can't counter the vibranium, he can't get into the suit. And if he can't get into the suit, he can't kill T'Challa. So thus, with the first pick, of the Season 5 Death Battle roster, Todd picks Black Panther to beat Batman. So yeah. Now, if Batman wins, I'm not going to be mad, but they would have to have the best gosh dang explanation ever, because I honestly don't think there's a way for Batman to kill Black Panther. That's just the way it is. And so with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. What do you think about Black Panther versus Batman? Do you think Batman can somehow pull an upset? If so, tell me how you think it could happen in the comments below. And of course, once the death battle is done, I will be doing my reaction video and doing a slight preview on the next battle after that. So, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening, and I will see you around.